The village of Little Bramley in 1937 felt a world away from the city's roar, though London was less than an hour away by electric train. Life moved slow pace by the chimes of the old, pealing clock tower. The air smelled of fresh-baked bread from Mrs. Higgins' bakery. This was their quiet rhythm. Our main character was Elsie Miller, a bright and restless 20-year-old woman. She worked as the village's telephone switchboard operator. Her father, a quiet man who tended the local cricket pitch, often worried aloud about the unsettling wireless news coming from Europe. The summer of '37 brought a baffling local mystery that supplanted the usual small-town gossip. It wasn't about the annual horticultural show, but a series of persistent, petty thefts. The stolen item wasn't money or gold. The missing goods were several jars of Mrs. Higgins' prize-winning strawberry jam. The disappearance of the preserves became the sole, consuming topic of conversation. Theories were wildly debated at the Fox and Hounds pub. Villagers suspected everyone from a clever, opportunistic fox to an organized gang of London anarchists. Elsie, tired of simply connecting calls all day, was determined to investigate. She wanted to use the switchboard, the very nerve center of village gossip, to solve the case herself. She began meticulously reviewing the log of all outgoing and interrupted calls. Soon, she noticed a very peculiar, recurring pattern in the telephone activity that coincided precisely with each theft. She followed this subtle trail of evidence. A short, frantic, and panicked call always originated from the grand, gloomy home of Mr. Percival Finch. He was the village's wealthiest resident, known universally as its grumpiest and most private bachelor. The problem was that Mr. Finch's calls were always abruptly cut off before he could speak. Crucially, before the hang-up, Elsie distinctly picked up a strange, high-pitched cheeping sound on the line. She knew this was her only real clue. Elsie realized she needed an accomplice for the next phase of her investigation. She recruited Thomas, the young, charming gardener's apprentice. He had a natural talent for climbing trees and a good, trustworthy grin. On a cool, dark August evening, Thomas and Elsie quietly began their stakeout. They hid in the shadows near Mr. Finch's large, neglected manor house. The moment the village clock tower struck 10, the strange event began. They heard the familiar, frantic cheeping sound. Then, immediately afterward, they heard the sharp, unmistakable noise of breaking glass emanating from the building's conservatory. They crept stealthily to a window to peer inside. There was Mr. Finch, dressed absurdly in a silk smoking jacket, in a state of utter disarray. He was not stealing, but hysterically chasing a small, terrified parrot. The parrot was clearly the culprit behind the jam thefts. It turned out that Mr. Finch had secretly acquired the beautiful, talking bird. The naughty parrot had escaped its large cage, and more alarmingly, developed a disastrous and expensive taste for only the highest quality premium strawberry jam. Mr. Finch's frantic, cut-off phone calls had been desperate attempts to reach the vet without being discovered. His immense panic caused him to fumble the receiver repeatedly, terrified his stern housekeeper would find the chaos. Elsie quietly confronted a very embarrassed Mr. Finch the next morning. She offered to keep the jam-stealing parrot's secret absolutely safe. The only price was a generous donation to help fund the struggling horticultural show. Mr. Finch, immensely relieved that his eccentric secret was safe from the village gossip mill, immediately wrote a substantial check. Elsie had not only solved the mystery, but secured the village's main event, learning that appearances are deceiving.